Hey, welcome to Steph's World, the world according to Steph. Um, this is Love and Light Truth. Um, I'm going to say I've lost track. Okay, so we're going to say number 13. Let's try that. Number 13. Okay, if I'm wrong, no big deal, right? It's been a while. It's always been a while, isn't it? I say that all the time. I've had a lot going on in my life right now, good and bad. I mean, good and I don't want to say bad. Good and not so easy. Let's put it that way. Um, I believe that if you think a certain way, if you believe a certain way, that is a way that your life will go. That's what I believe. And a lot of other people believe that too. So I do my best not to say things like, it's been a rough week. I do my best not to do that. Because then, you know what might happen? Next week will be a really rough week. I know it sounds insane, right? But it's true. I have practiced this and found it to be true. It turned out to be very true. Okay, well, let's get off of all that and let's talk about what is very important to me right now. And always is, really. Love. Love, 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 love. Love, 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 love. We can't have truth without love. Someone want to prove me wrong on that one? Oh, I've been in this philosophical group, and believe me, it's either, uh, there are some people there that truly, truly want to discuss things, as I like to put it, and then there are other people in there that just, it feels like they just want to argue, 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 and I'm not into arguing. Sorry. I dropped that a long time ago. It's not my life. And, but I don't want to quit it yet. I mean, I learned things from it. And I love groups or communities that I learn from. And I do learn from it. So, the quandary is, what do I do? And I have a hard time keeping this shut. Or doing the writing. Now, the writing with this is pretty tough, but I do it. I do it. I have been talking about this forever. Forever. But it is coming about. I can't write this blog until I have completely and as thoroughly as I possibly can observe. I am in the process of observation. I am in the process of remembrance of my life. My life. And that was quite an experience, let me tell you. But it turned out that most of us, six kids, most of us forgave, learned how to forgive in one way or another. We learned how to forgive and love. I'm talking about my parents. I grew up in a really tough environment, and I mean tough. Um, I think my father felt like he had to raise his kids as hard and as tough as he could. He wanted us to be successful, and in order to do that or be that way, in his mind, the only way we were going to be successful was to just beat the out of us. And he didn't do that to everybody, but some of us he did. And I remember when I was like 20 years old, I was very confused. Very, very confused young woman. I didn't know what love was. I didn't have the faintest idea of what love really was. And yet, I was full of love inside of me. I had so much love inside of me. Somehow, all of that stuff that I went through as a young child didn't destroy the beautiful love that was within me. And there must have been reasons for that. And I have been doing a lot of research, let me tell you. But not just on me. I have a daughter, and she's going to turn 35 this month. And I hope that you all remember that my son passed away. That was her brother. Of course, that was her brother. And he was quite a man, let me tell you. But he passed away, and it was suddenly, and I don't know why. I never really expected him to actually die. I mean, he was in the army. He had been to Iraq. He was in Afghanistan, and he got hurt in Afghanistan. So why in the world would I have been so shocked that my son died? Why would any of us have been shocked that Matt died? But we were. Everybody was. Nobody thought that was ever going to happen, not to Matt. But it did. I'm not going to say I had special children, but I do feel that sometimes we feel closer to other children than we do other ones for some reason. And I think that parents, it's not just parents, I think that the children feel closer to certain parents for some reason. And boy, is my family a study for that. And I'm talking about my own individual family. I raised my children basically by myself. Now, that's not to say I wasn't married a few times. I was. But did they last? No. No. I remember Matt saying to me one time, one Christmas, it was just us. And Matt was really open. I mean, nothing, he was not embarrassed about anything. He was an amazing human being. Right from the start. And I came out that Christmas morning, and it was just us, his sister, Rachel, me, and Matt. And here's Matt running around in a t-shirt and his underwear. And he was what, 11, 12 years old? And he said to me, Mom, I'm very happy today. I wish it was just us all the time. That's what he said to me. And I know how important that was to him. And, you know, he did love his dad, but he felt more secure with me and his sister. That's who he felt secure with. So it wasn't that he didn't love them. It's that he didn't feel very secure. Now, Rachel, my daughter, when she was growing up, she seemed to be okay with us, her family, me, Matt, and whoever, if I was married, you know, if I wasn't, you know. And then something that I should have done and I didn't do happened. I had a son that I gave up for adoption when he was 8 months old. That was when I was 20 years old. And I was mixed up. I did not know what to do in life. I really didn't. We're talking about someone that needed good direction and guidance, and I did not get it. Now, I got some guidance, but whether it was good or not, I don't know. Who's to say? But we can't go back and do the shoulda, wouldas, couldas, can we? That's one of my rules. We don't do that. Shoulda, woulda, couldas. No, 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 no. It happened. Now, I thought I was giving my beautiful child, my son, he was so beautiful, to a good family. They had money. Money was important in my mind because of my father, okay? My father pounded it into us. Money, 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 money. Gotta have money to make you happy. It's the only way you're going to be happy. Have to have money. Isn't that something? Now, I'm sure there's other parents out there doing the same thing, and I wish they would stop. Right now. Stop that. That's not love. And that's not happiness. And money doesn't make you happy. And my son, Matt, demonstrated that. We were poor. I was in my job as a computer programmer, but I was a woman. And women were not doing what I was doing, believe me. And did I get underpaid? You bet I did. You bet I did. But you know what? I didn't complain. I just went ahead and I pushed myself, and I pushed myself pretty good. I came up with amazing programs during that time. I was really rocking and rolling, let me tell you. But Matt demonstrated right there that he was as happy as any human being could be. Right there. That was happiness. Looks like we got the wasps and the bees out again. But anyway, we didn't have to be rich. We just had to love each other. Matt was all about that. Love. Love, 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 love. And when I had issues, there were times when I would go through periods where I was having trouble in life. With the childhood that I had, you bet I had problems. I had to work through a lot. I had to get a lot of help. You bet I did. And I did. I got the help. And today I would still get whatever help I could take. Now today it's more of a spiritual level. Mm-hmm. But Matt was love. He was all about love. And he showed it. And he said it. You'll have to excuse me. I miss him. I miss him. I want to talk about him, but I miss him. Okay, let's move on. You know, and it's funny because that day, that Christmas, Rachel came out and she said, Matt, you're in your underwear. Rachel was 2.5 years younger than Matt. So she was about 10, 9 or 10. And, you know, she was Little Miss, I don't know what, but I'll never forget that. Matt, you're in your underwear. It was funny. It really was. But anyway, he didn't care. He just ignored her. And we had our beautiful Christmas. We really did. When I think of the best Christmas I've ever had, that was it. That was it. I had my 2 children. I wish I would have had my 3rd, but it was not to be. And it was just us. And we were happy. We really were. Well, anyway, so love. There was love there, let me tell you. Isn't that what Christmas is all about? Love. The giving part. Maybe the giving should just be love, you know? Give as much love as we can give. Maybe that's what it's all about. One of my worst Christmases was about 2 years before Matt passed away. And that involved Matt. He came home on furlough. And it was right before they sent him to Afghanistan. And I don't know what happened. I got hurt inside. Matt didn't have any money. I had to help pay to get him home, which I didn't care about. I'd do anything to get my children home with me. I would give the shirt off my back to do anything. And that's a phrase, please. Don't get ridiculous with that. But I would do anything to get my children home within reason. I really would. So I paid for Matt to come home. And we had this, I had this wonderful new dining room table. And I couldn't wait to have all of us having dinner, Christmas dinner, at that wonderful little dining room. It wasn't little, but that wonderful new dining room table. It really wasn't new then either, but it was for Matt. He hadn't seen it yet. Matt was acting really strange at that point. Really strange. And I knew something was wrong. I could read them pretty good. And, I was really disabled. And in a few years before, when he would come home, he wanted to do all the preparations so that I didn't have to do it. Well, this year when he came home, he actually acted like he didn't care. And I even said to him, well, Matt, what about fixing the dinner? What are we going to do? And he said, I'll be back, Mom. I'll be back. Just chill. So I waited. And he brought his dog home with him too. And she's a beautiful dog. She really is. She loved him so much. But it was difficult to have his dog there with me. I'm not going to lie about it. It was hard. I wasn't used to having a big dog in my condo. I just wasn't used to it. Okay, so anyway, I read him. I knew something was terribly wrong with him, and I did not understand what was going on. So he finally came back home, and by then I'd already started doing the potatoes and everything, and I couldn't stand. I didn't have a wheelchair. I had a wheelchair, but it wasn't working properly, so I couldn't sit in that and do it. I did my very best to try to make a dinner. I really did. Frankly, I don't remember if we ever got to that part. I really don't. But it wasn't a good thing. That night was not a good night. My daughter came over, and she brought my 3 granddaughters, and I think her husband was with her. And everybody exchanged gifts, and Matt gave my daughter a really cool book. Oh, it was fabulous. And after it was all over, I realized he did not give me a Christmas gift. And I was a little surprised. I was real surprised. And I tried to talk to him about it. I said, hey, son, what is wrong? Have I done something to anger you, or what is going on? And I couldn't get anything out of him. Not a thing. But I knew something was wrong. And for him to, Matt wasn't really good at giving me birthday cards or any of that kind of stuff. That wasn't Matt. But he did acknowledge it. I mean, usually. And I think he honestly would forget. And I never got upset with them about it. It was never a big deal. I never made it a big deal. Rachel was my remember everybody and everything person. She never forgot anybody's birthdays or anything. She was the one that remembered everything. But anyway, that Christmas afterwards, after Rachel left and I tried to talk to Matt. The conversation got bad. And instead of me walking away and letting it go, suggesting that, why don't we talk about this another time? I didn't do that. I pressured him. I really pressured him. And he got angry with me. He got very angry. And I can't remember what happened that very night, but I do know that I was in my bedroom crying. And he knew that I was crying. He knew I felt hurt. Now, I don't think Matt knew how to deal with that. I really don't. He loved me tremendously. I was his mother, and he loved me. So getting on with this, what's the point, right? Well, the point is this. When we love each other, usually we are the first people we hurt. We love each other, but we're the first people who get hurt. You betcha. And that has to stop. That's the point. You know, and how many times do we plan something wonderful for our family, and the next thing you know, there's some big fight that goes on, or somebody leaves angrily, or something bad happens. And this is our family. And how many times does that happen? Well, it happened a lot in my family. I can tell you that. It happened long before my children came. My family was like that from the time I can remember, be honest with you. That would make sense on why I would have the reaction that I had. If things did not go well, I was hurt. I was very hurt. Now, instead of calling my spiritual advisor, that would have been a good time, I didn't. I didn't follow my spiritual rules. I didn't do anything. I just went to my room and I cried. Closed the door. And when I closed the door on my son. There was no more discussion between us. And he died. He died. You know, that's pretty darn serious. I'd like all of you to think about that. My son died before he and I could work things out. Yeah. Now, I have some amazing things that happened when he passed. Absolutely amazing. And because of those things, I'm okay. I mean, I miss my baby. I miss him real bad. But I'm okay. Because I know that my son loved me very much. I know that. And it's because of some things that happened the night he passed away. I don't believe that you all are ready for that. But trust me, it was wonderful. Now, it didn't help me the next day, but later on it did. It helped me tremendously. It helped me with love to understand the level and the depth that love will go. How many borders it will cross to let another person know how much they were loved. What dimensions were crossed to let another person know that they were loved. In our world today, we have got to stop that. We have got to make the people around us know that we really love them. And if you don't know what love means, then get some help. Get some help. Because the next thing you know, that person that you love dearly might be gone. Just suddenly be gone. And you might not have the experience that I had. You may not have the reassurance of love that I had. But I had it. Now I'm going to tell you something. I've always said this. I am of God. I'm not of any religion. I will never be of any religion, but I am of God. I meditate, and I try to meditate on a regular basis. And I read everything I can get my hands on in regard to God. And I've read all kinds of holy books and where they came from and how they came about. Because ever since I was a little girl, I had some strange things happen to me. So I was studying Edgar Cayce, and probably most of you don't know who that is, when I was 15 years old. So, in fact, I decided to buy a couple of Edgar's books. I got a book, Edgar Cayce, on angels, archangels, and the unseen forces. I got 2 other books from Edgar too. Really cool. But I read everything I could possibly read. I really did. And then it talked about meditation and self-hypnosis. And as far as I could tell, meditation and self-hypnosis were pretty much the same thing. Of course, it would seem that way to me. So I started doing it. How about that? 15 years old. I followed some directions out of one of the books that I had. But anyway, so I had a bit of an unusual beginning, shall we say. And my curiosity in life continues. It will never end. Not even after I'm gone. Well, I'm not going to read anything today to you, but I am going to tell you that I love you. And I really do. I love you. And I don't need you to tell me that you love me. but it is important. I can tell you that. You all have a blessed day. And I'm signing off, love and light and truth from Steph.